It's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lew. Coming to you live from Studio 700 at Revitalize Life Fitness and Life Coaching. Coach Lew will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the body, the energy, and success you deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lew.
700 in 1 second. That is just kind of funny. Bear with me a second. This is where being flexible in this world can really come in handy. All right. Are we good to go? We should be. All right, we are good to go here, guys. Coach Lew coming to you live here from Studio 700. We had a minor little snafu there on our electronics end. Go figure. You know, that is one of the things, I guess I'm going to preface this. When something like that happens, it's called being flexible, and it's also called having resourcefulness. Had a minor little glitch, and instead of going, oh my God, we got to start over, shut everything down, guess what? We handled it. Boom, just like that. So my question for you today, and this is just super, super exciting to me to be on this broadcast this morning. Are you seeing 2020? So I can take my glasses off and go, oh, I don't know. I don't think I have 2020 vision. I can put my glasses on and go, oh, a lot clearer. Still don't know if I'm seeing 2020 vision, but you know what I do see in 2020? The best year yet. That's what I'm really here to talk to you about, is what we're looking forward to is this 2020. And what I'm using this 2020 is a motivation anchor for you to have something cool to look forward to. It is cool. Think of it. We're hitting the year 2020. Our butts are still alive. We're still waking up every day. We're making progress, and we're going into 2020. Can you believe that? But it's a really cool analogy to talk about seeing 2020, getting clarity for this new year, and really stepping up. You know, I'm really, really super excited to bring this to you and bring these concepts to you, and we're going to review what we've done all year long. We're going to scoop that all up, and we're going to put it into this morning's broadcast. And you're going, oh my God, this is going to take like 3 or 4 hours, right? Not really. I'm going to keep it succinct and go, but we are going to really review and make sure you're using all the things we've been doing and that we've taught, and jump into it and make sure that we're really on board. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go into it. Give me some good morning likes, loves, say good morning, ask questions, guys. Let me know everybody's on board and online with us. If I don't see you on one of the broadcast channels, broadcasting through one of our broadcast cameras will not necessarily show me the comments. So I'm not missing you. Good morning, hon. I see you. All right, awesome. So we are on board and ready to go. So we're not talking about the vision in your eyes. We're talking about the vision in your future. Now you might say, vision for my eyes in 2020 is I'm going to go get LASIK or something so I have clearer vision. Guess what? That could not be a bad thing. You know, if we have the ability to get clearer, and the more it is similar to vision. You know, I take this off and things are a little more blurry. They're not as clear. I don't have quite as clear of an action plan to go forward. I put together a clear daily, weekly, monthly action plan, and boom, clarity's there. All of a sudden, it's like putting a pair of glasses on your life or going and getting your vision corrected. So enough of the analogies. Let's dig into some stuff here. So going into the future, what are your plans for the rest of this year? Number one, we're not by any means dissing 2019. We are absolutely focusing on how we can use the rest of 2019 to hit 2020 even harder. What are your plans? What do you have written down? Goals. Have you reviewed those goals that we did on New Year's Day on that goal setting workshop? How are you doing with those? You know, how awesome have you become? Have you let them go? Do you even remember what your goals were? You know, are you currently living the life you desire? This is the most important thing. Hitting your goals, getting close to your goals, not getting your goals, uh, doing some of the things you're doing on a daily basis. Is it the life you desire? Is this what you want? The life you're living, is it what you want? Are you just getting by? Are you getting through the day? Are you making a difference? Are you stepping up? Are you growing? Are you contributing? Are you excited? Or are you trudging through the day with the same old job and the same old attitude and everything else? Now, I'm not saying go quit your job and everything's going to be fine. Maybe you do better at your job. Maybe you find ways to love your job if that's a situation. Maybe you're headed for divorce in a relationship and you're going, I got to get through this. Maybe you go back and give it another shot because you obviously got in that relationship for a reason, and give it a real shot. And maybe that doesn't work. Maybe it is the people and you've got to change it. Because sometimes, as we talked about, it's your team, and sometimes your team's got to change a little bit. But first try to change the dynamic in your team before you just randomly change your team. Because the one thing you're going to take into any team, marriage, relationship, job, family situation is you. If you don't change, if you don't grow, if you don't transform, you're not going to be any different in the next relationship, in the next job, with the next kid, whatever it is. You have got to have that internal change as to who you are. So let me ask you something. Are you becoming, as we go into 2020, and maybe you're not 20 anymore? Maybe you are. Maybe you're just turning 20, hitting it and hitting that workforce and getting started and you're excited. But maybe, you're middle-aged. Maybe you're older now. Are you becoming more and more aware of how precious time is? Let me tell you something. It is precious. Every minute, every day you have is precious. And mark my words, whether you're 20 or 90, you better appreciate every single day. If you can learn to appreciate every single day at 20 and every obstacle you're going to come up against, you're going to have an amazing life. If you appreciate every day at 90 instead of going, oh my God, I'm just old and miserable, you're going to, whatever time you have left, and at any given time, there's 90-year-olds out there that have more time than a 20-year-old might have left. You don't know, guys, so maximize your time. It is precious. This is not a dress rehearsal. The second act after you're dead is heaven. Heaven's going to be great, but I don't think we're in any hurry to get there, okay? But that's the only second act. There is no second act. You don't get to come back and do life again. You're here one time. Do it right. Now, you could have a second act. You could be middle-aged or whatever point you're at. Everything from here on is your second act. Okay? Whatever you do from today on is your second chance. You have a chance no matter how crappy it may have been up to this point, how tough or how great. And you want to take it to the next level. You want to contribute more. No matter what, today on is your second chance. If you've had a rough 2019, here's your chance to turn that shit around for the rest of the year. If you've had a great 2019, here's a chance to double that shit in less than half a year. So let's step up and do this. So let's cover what we've done so far this year. Let's go on a journey together. Let's really dig into something here, because this is really exciting to me, because I've realized how much, tooting my own horn here, and our horns here at Revitalize, is a team effort. This isn't all me. What we've done in the massive amount of hours in production, this 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, hour long that you are on with me, is nothing compared to what goes into each show. There's a minimum of 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 hours, if you figure it out, that goes into each and every one of these shows that we do behind the scenes. And a lot of, not only time, there's capital investment. I'm getting some more people on board here so we can touch some lives. You've got to realize that there is a whole lot more to this than just this few minutes. I don't just kick on the camera and talk random stuff. I'm also not scripted. I might take some notes as to what I want to cover, but I'm not scripted. You can tell I'm not saying, this is Lew, and what we are going to cover today. No. It comes from here. It flows in and out to you. All right, so we started out with what is Monday motivation? Is it a rah-rah session? Is it something where you sit down with a pen and paper and you learn how to do it, like the old school style of learning? No, old school learning is going away, guys. Self-education is absolutely stepping up. So Monday motivation simply is a way to begin your week with a vision for what you want, a plan to follow it through, the desire and the drive, and taking the action on it and actually following through. That's what Monday motivation is. It's a way to fire it off. You know, you may be listening in the car. You may be listening at your desk. You may not be at work yet. You may not work. You may be a stay-at-home parent. You might be an entrepreneur that works from home, or you might be on the road, or wherever you're at right now. This is to get you fired off for the week and get you to do that plan, get you to take action, get you to follow up on it and understand it all. So that's where we're at so far. So then we're going to talk about, and we talked about the next segment we did on what state do you live in? You live in Florida or New York? Raise your hand. All right, what we're talking about is your state of being. What is that state that you live in? What is your go-to state? Do you get pissed off more often than not? Are you excited more often than not? Are you generally happy? We all get into different states. You know, you don't go to a funeral and you're jumping up and down, celebrating, going, "Hurrah! Someone croaked." You might get some people thinking you're a little loony. You might celebrate their life and be happy that you had that opportunity to interact with them. But really, the reality is you may have a go-to state. You know, sometimes mine was anger. I'd get pissed off easy. And sometimes I still fight that. You know, yesterday we're driving along and this car comes right up and almost sideswipes me into the guardrail. So I want to go up and tell him what I think of him. And Jen's like, "Really? What are you doing?" And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Yeah, in the long run, you're right, because now I'm the one that's angry. But that was a go-to state. I had to go. You know what? I got to snap out of that because now I'm going to be irritated. And I'm like, "Ooh, I don't like that." And maybe angry is too much strong of a word. Maybe irritated, or inconvenienced, or pissed off, whatever it was. But that was too easy of a go-to state. I would rather my go-to state would be, "Whoa, good thing we avoided that. Hey, blessed, man, happy, lucky, whatever you want to term. Ooh, that was close. Good thing. Smile about it." Different feeling than, "I want to pound that asshole," for cutting me off or almost wrecking us. Maybe go, "Oh, whew, glad we didn't connect there." Not a cool way to connect. So what state do you live in? Do you live in anger? Do you live in depression? Do you live in, happiness, bliss, joy? Where are you? Find out, what is your go-to state? And the biggest question is it serving you? Is your go-to state serving you? If your go-to state is bliss and joy, and you're a Wall Street trader, and you're on the Wall Street going, "Hey, can you put me in on that deal?" Might not be the state for your work. You might need to get in that competitive state in that situation. So find what states serve you when. We're all going to go into these states, myriads of states during the day. If I would tell you I'm happy every second of the day, I'd be lying like a son of a bee. If I would tell you that I'm generally unhappy, no, I'm generally a happier person. And some days I'm more quiet and focused. I'm in a focused state. Some days I'm like, "Cool, I'm excited. I get to do this. This is a joy. I love connecting. I love working with everybody." So that's good morning, Kel. That is an important part of what you do, is getting into the state that serves you the best. Then we went on to emotional endurance. Do you have the emotional endurance that you need? What is emotional endurance? Emotional endurance is anybody can be in a good state when everything's going their way. What about when stuff comes at you and something hits you sideways and 10 things start hitting you and it feels like the world's coming down on you? It's on your shoulders and you're smothered by it and you're overwhelmed and it's like, "I can't take another second," or "I can't take another XYZ of this, that, or the other." And you go, "You know what? Screw this. I'm going to handle it." And you step up. That's emotional endurance. Emotional endurance is going, you know what? We started this business with this intent that everything was just going to flow in. And you know what? The first 2-3 months of a business, you're choking. You didn't just put up a sign and open the doors and put out a couple ads and everybody goes, you're the best at what you do. I'm going to come do business with you. Sometimes it's years. Do you have the emotional endurance to hang in and work through that and push through that? Not just hang in, but work through and push through. That emotional endurance is something it's built. It's built from experience. It's built from use. So use it, activate it, and be strong, because sometimes you're going to have to push through things that aren't pleasant and yay, yay, rah, rah, excitement, fun. Sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes it's hard. You know, a lot of times we start something and it's fun, and then it's like, oh crap, this is work. Then it's like, oh my God, how many people have you ever heard? Good prime example. Start a business. Oh, I can't wait to get into business for myself. I love it. I love it. And they're going on and carrying on, and next thing you know, they're like, I can't wait to sell this fucking business. I want to get out of this fucking place. Or a job, and you're going, seriously? Or my best example of this is you get the cute little puppy, and it's like, oh, it's so cute, and you get poodled, and it poddled, and oh, look, it did its paw, and it knows me, and it knows my name, and it knows my voice, and it's so cute, and then it gets big. And it rips the shit out of your garbage and tears up your couch and, you know, takes a big old dump in the middle of the living room while you were gone because you're not paying as much attention to the poor thing as you did when it was the cute little puppy. Now it's a damn dog. Shut that damn dog up. At first it was like, oh, listen to him. He's barking. He's protecting the house. Now it's shut the damn dog up. You know, and not everybody's like that, but I'm just using it as an example of, you know, it was cute and exciting as a puppy, but now it's grown up and it ain't so cute anymore. Now it's that damn dog. Well, that's not what we want to do in life. That's having that emotional endurance to realize that, you know, or a marriage, you know, in the beginning it's all frou-frou great when you're dating, but then it's like, oh, well, you know, we've been married for 15 years. What do you expect? I expect you to have the same passion and love for each other that you did in the beginning because you're still the same people, but you got to put a little effort into it and you got to have some emotional endurance. All right, I'm calling it like it is, guys, because it's a reality. There's couples that have been together for 20, 30 years that are madly in love, and there's couples that after 3 years barely say as they pass in the hallway, and that's their version of, you know, lovemaking. You know, if you can read between the lines there. I know there's people of all ages on here, so I don't want to be too crude. I do use some harsh language at times, and it's not to be crude, rude, or etc. Remember, it's to get shock factor. We're not here to sugarcoat and go over stuff and go, oh yeah, I understand. I totally understand. I have more empathy and compassion than you'll ever believe, although sometimes it doesn't seem like it, because it's like, I understand. Now let's fix it. Because if I really care for you and I really want to deliver to you, it's not about, you know, cuddling and putting, you know, icing on the cake. It's about getting down to the middle of that cake and seeing what's going on and fixing the cake. So, you know, if I sound harsh at times, it's for your own good. That is truly from the heart helping, as opposed to, you know, sometimes you hang out with a friend when you've got a tough situation and they, oh, I know what you mean, and, you know, let me one-up you on that, and but that ain't helping. Sometimes you need a shoulder to cry on for a minute, that's fine, but then you got to get somebody that's going to uplift you and get you back on your feet, not sit there and let you live in the mire. Agreed? Give me some thumbs up, guys. You're falling asleep on me here. I want some action. I want to see you guys. I want comments, questions. All right, here we go. So we went from that to pain and pleasure. Good transition. You know, these are two directing forces of your life, pain and pleasure. Pain pushes, pleasure pulls. Carrot and stick. I mean, you've heard this stuff over and over, and these are all on the blog, on the Monday morning blog, so you can go back and do the replays of the lives on the top video, the content in the middle, and then a full training video at the bottom. By the time you're done with a post or a page, let me tell you, you should have that kind of mastered. And if you don't, book a coaching session with me. We'll get it mastered. The cool thing is a lot of times, people say to me, well, what's the difference between you and coffee? Yes, coffee sounds good. Definitely soon, brother. They'll say to me, what's the difference between a coach and a psychiatrist or a psychologist? Well, everybody's got their position, but coaching, we focus very little of the time on defining the problem, because the problem's usually pretty damn easy to define what your challenge is. And like 95% of the time on the solutions and the going forward. In psychology, a lot of times they keep there were a lot of repetition of the problem and what happened, and the bad thing and that thing that holds you back, and you lay back for a year and keep discussing the same problem. Well, that doesn't get you forward, and it doesn't mean that there's not situations where going to a psychiatrist or psychologist isn't a better option than coaching, or a different option, or medically necessary, or there's medications involved or something like that where you need to be in that situation. I'm not dismissing or saying, I'm not bashing a psychologist. What I am saying is, in coaching, we spend very little time defining the problem, because let me tell you something, that's usually pretty apparent. And not initially, we'll song and dance for a few minutes, but it'll come out. But then it's all solution based. And that's where pain and pleasure comes in, because you take and assign more pain to what you don't want, so that it's too painful, you don't want to go there, and you assign pleasure to what you're transforming it into. And between that, your brain goes, don't want the pain, let's get out of there. Want the pleasure, let's pull that closer. And you get the result. You get where I'm going with this? It's pretty simple stuff. It's not just all that simple. You can't just sit here and watch a few of these and go, okay, I'm a coach too. There's a lot of education, a lot of experience that goes into understanding how to extract what the real reasons are, and how to guide somebody in the proper way, because we don't want to help guide somebody through into something that's going to be worse or not sustainable. So there's a lot of science in it, but a whole lot of art in coaching. But use that science of pain and pleasure, and put it together with some motivation anchors. So I'm going to give you a little example how to trigger something off. And some people, like Tony Robbins, calls it a power move. Some people call it triggers, anchors. It's kind of all the same thing. If I came to you and said, how could you get depressed? You could hunch, you could lean over, look down, think about all the wrongs that have been done to you. Think about the things you've lost in life. Whoa, yeah. Pretty easy to get into a state like that. So what you need to do is have an anchor that can turn off what you want to get away from, and turn on the motivation, the energy, the excitement. You see the difference. What is the difference? What is my physical difference right there? Shoulders came back. Breathing, got excited, smile, eyes got more open. Write it down. See this, see the difference. That's just simply an anchor, bam, that I can fire off. That's not voodoo magic. That's not guru hoodoo. That is an anchor that I have set that sets that off. And the focus. When I got into the depressed, I focused on the wrongs and the things that have been done to me, and the victim I could be. Yeah, there's been some hurtful things in my life. There's been some not easy things that I had to overcome, just like you and I, we all had it. But to be able to fire something off that takes you into that celebratory, yes, I've had some amazing moments in life. I'd rather live there than in the depressed. Does it sneak up on you once in a while? Yeah, you have a bad day, you start slumping, you start thinking about who did you wrong and who said this, and why this person's holding you back and this boss holds you back, or why your spouse is no good this, or how you screwed up raising your kids, and next thing you know, you're ready to cry your eyes out on camera, instead of boom. Hey, I remember the day I had a breakthrough that made me change my health and physiology, and turned a guy who was going down the wrong track, health-wise and energy-wise, and wasn't giving my best to my family, my career, and anything, to somebody who's like, let me help the world. I want to help everybody turn this whole big world around. And I'm not going woo woo, goomba, kumbaya, everything's okay. No, there's a lot of shit going on that's really tough. There's shootings going on, and then people blame guns rather than the psychology. There's, terrorism going on because of radical beliefs, not because where somebody was born. You can't take and go, oh, you were born in the same place as a terrorist, you must be a terrorist. You can't assume that. You can't assume that because guns are available to law-abiding citizens that anybody who buys a gun is a killer. You also can't assume that if we took guns out of the picture that we'd stop killing. People fly airplanes into buildings, they will drive cars into crowds, they will blow shit up. The negativity will happen if we don't change a mindset of, you know what? People have value. There is value in everybody in every way. And if we can help people find their own value, they're going to feel a whole lot better. They're not going to have the anger and the resentment and all this tension that people have come into the modern day world. Am I saying the kumbaya thing where, oh, just say everybody's equal, it's all fine and dandy? No. But if you lend a hand out, even to somebody that you normally feel isn't in your peer group, if you teach people how to go from I'm a victim down and out and I've been kicked around and I'm going to make somebody pay, to going, you know what, I've had a tough life and it made me stronger, and you know what I learned? Hey, you know what, you remind me of me before. Let me reach out a hand. Let me say something to you that might trigger you to go, hey, you have value too. That's what this is all about. This is what I'm coming to do, is to change this big, beautiful world back into a big, beautiful world. Does it mean every single thing of violence is going to stop and, we're all going to sing and dance in the streets? No. What it does mean is if we can change a few people, if we can change some of the leadership style to teaching people to take responsibility for their own state and their own way they treat other people, it will be a better world. So that's kind of a rant, guys, but that is the general consensus of what we're doing here. I want to make your life better so you can make somebody else's better, so we can all make somebody else's better. I'm multi-level marketing you guys to go out and make a difference. Recruiting you guys to go make a difference. How's that sound? Some people get that. They go, oh yeah, I'm in that industry. That makes sense. So what we're doing is just recruiting you to be a better person and to pay it forward. And it will be a better world when we do that. Not a perfect world, but a better world. So we gave you a good example of the different physical states. Where are you going to be the best? Where are you going to produce the best for your family? Where are you going to produce the best for your job? And where are you going to feel the greatest? Get those go-to states that make you feel the best. Doesn't mean you don't have a bad day. Doesn't mean you don't feel sad once in a while. What it means is you have a go-to state or anchor that can positively get you there. All right, I better speed it up because I am definitely keeping you guys on board long today, but tell me this has value. If it doesn't have value, I'll go eat breakfast again, my second breakfast, of course. If it has value, I'll stay with you. Stay with me. So what do we do next? The power of why. Harnessing that power of why. And I use the letter Y as a cutesy little thing for that. What it is what drives you. Why do you do what you do? Do you do it for your kids, your spouse? Do you do it for recognition? Do you do it to be the best? Do you do it for your creator? What drives you the most? Why do you do what you do? Especially if you really are in that motivated and that push forward state. Why are you doing it? If you know your why, you will gain the emotional endurance. You will gain how to gauge pain and pleasure. You will know why you're doing this. Quick story for you. And I borrowed this from Tony Robbins, by the way, because I think it was a cool story. And cigarette smoking's always been one of my favorite things to help people get over because I have a really good success ratio with it. But no, seriously, there's a guy who smoked and smoked and smoked and, for years, had no intention of quitting, and he's sitting in his little home office smoking, and he's very successful at everything else. And he had reached out to Tony, and I may be paraphrasing this, to help him with it, but he wasn't showing up for the appointments and always kind of putting it off, and oh, I'll quit next month, next week. So Tony runs into this guy, and he goes, I'm smoke free. And he goes, well, you weren't 2 weeks ago, and you've been avoiding me kind of, or whatever. He goes, well, he said, how'd you change? He said, I just put him down. He said, how'd you really change? He said, well, my little girl came in my little office and looks at me when I had a cigarette in my hand and says, Daddy, I don't want you to die. And he's like, I'm not going to die. The pain, pleasure of the smoking there in the moment, the pain of death was, years. You're not right there. You're not taking that last gasping breath. So the little girl goes, but I wanted you to be at my wedding when I get married. And she's bawling her eyes out because in her eyes, her daddy's killing himself. Well, that was enough. He didn't need patches, nicotine shit, this, that, or the other. The guy threw his cigarettes out and stopped smoking because of the pain that he was going to inflict on his daughter. That's the power of why. The pain he was inflicting on her by what he was doing to himself that he thought was pleasure. So there's how powerful the power of why is. When we got the whole world, quit Florida, smoke, don't do this, vape this, do that, put this patch on, take this pill, and you'll quit smoking eventually. Oh, why don't you look at your kids and realize you want to be around for them? Yeah, wow. And then, of course, all the pleasure of having more money left over, energy, you don't stink, your teeth look better, etc., etc. That's your power of why. You get where I'm going with that. It was a really cool story, but that really, it touched my heart to share it with you. And kudos to Tony for telling that one multiple times at different events, because it really set that one in for me in learning about, coaching and learning about this stuff through leadership and getting in there and working this, Yes, that would be an oh shit moment, Don. You are right. That is that moment, and we've all had them. This is nothing unique. This is something cool. We all have these. We all have these emotions. We all have these tools available to us. It's, do you use it, and do you use the power of why to drive you? Nothing will give you the desire and the emotional endurance like your power of why. So connect to it. What is your power of why? And it doesn't have to be only one thing. It can be multiple things in multiple arenas of life. Okay, so you have the power of why. You want it, but now what? We all get rah-rah, I want, and, I know we're getting excited. I'm excited, and I'm going, okay, shit, I'm promising all this stuff between now and 2020, and what am I promising you? What am I going to deliver? Do I have it all mapped out yet? Well, not totally. Do I have an idea? Yes. This is where strategic planning comes in. And strategic planning is, we could call it ass backwards planning. Not really, but it is backwards planning. It's going, what is that outcome in building back to today of what does it take to get there? Not every little step, stage, and piece that you put on that GPS plan to get there is going to be necessary. Sometimes you get ahead. Sometimes you find there's more to it than you think, and that's where you evaluate, reevaluate, and continue forward. But you got to have a plan. And I like to call it a GPS. We used to call it a map, mapping out where you're going. That's fine. Some people are still pen and paper. Some people are digital. Some people are combo. I like both. Sometimes I like to write on paper still. Sometimes I love to type on the computer. Sometimes I love to fill shit in on the iPad and go, this is really cool. We couldn't do this so many years ago. It really is, it is cool. So the whole point is you got to strategically plan it. Then you got to take action. So we have this, then we went into H1 that we covered back in the spring, the late spring. And please go through those, because without your health, you can't do anything at the best. So health is one. Health is number one. That was inspired by Ford. Quality is job one. Remember that? If you're old enough to remember that, that impressed me, because I was like, you know what? Quality should be job one in everything you do. And quality is what you really deliver. Not that it looks pretty. And I'm going to use cars for an example. There's some pretty looking cars on the road I wouldn't get in because they're tin can crap. I'd be afraid if I got in a fender bender I'd die, or they just don't hold up as well as some other cars. So that quality that's underneath. Anybody can put on a pretty face and do their hair nice, and gals put on makeup, and even guys, and some, if you're an actor, you might have to put on stage makeup and look really good when you get on stage and that. But what's your quality in here? Do you match the outside? And on the same respect, if you have really good quality in here, you got to match it out here too. You might have the best heart, the best knowledge, and you have something you can deliver to me. But if you can't deliver it in a way that is attractive to me, I'm not gonna take advantage of it. So stuff like that is super, super important as well. So H1, we talked about fasting. And go back and review these. I'm not going to get super in depth. We talked about planning, diet, being D-I-E-T, D-I-E being the first three words. Nobody wants to be on a diet. What you want is to develop a lifestyle that is productive for your body and gives you the optimal energy and the optimal health. So people always ask me what my diet is. I had a revelation the other day. My diet is crap. And you're going, what? Spelled with a K. I took some great stuff from keto because I'm a firm believer in healthy fats. Listen up, because a lot of you have asked me this. What do I do as a diet? Raw, because I believe that most everything, unless it's a health hazard, if it's not cooked, should be consumed raw with its most natural vitamins and enzymes for digestion, not cooked out of it. And A is for and. P is for pescatarian. My protein of choice would be fish, wild caught, from somewhere that's not heavily polluted. Not a ton of fish because there is a lot of pollution issue there. And there are some other proteins that I do eat. But that I thought was a really cool acronym. My diet's crap. It makes me smile, but it makes me feel good about what I'm doing because it's fun to share that concept. So there you have my diet. So I wish our crew out back realized that I'm recording on these mornings. So if you got a little background noise from the crew, you'll know that's why. Because maybe I didn't communicate that to them, that I am still in here and we can hear every word they say. So if you're happening to pick up any of that, just love them like I do, because I have a hell of a crew, but they're a little noisy this morning, which means they're excited on a Monday morning, which is good because they're not saying bad stuff or grumping. So I've got to have a good laugh about that. So putting it all together, H1, taking, exercise, taking your dietary lifestyle, your stress reduction, your sleep, everything else is like super, super important to make sure that it's sustainable. You can live it, you can love it, you can enjoy it, and you can continue it. So it's a lifestyle, it's not a diet. So then I said, WTF? Where's the fun? All this effort, all this work, where is the fun? Well, you design that fun into your lifestyle so it matches your lifestyle and it's sustainable too. That's the key to it. Fun, once you're eating a healthy lifestyle and you're exercising and you're feeling great, fun is not going out and getting tanked on Friday and Saturday night and ruining your whole weekend and undoing all the good you've done to your body and, poisoning yourself and undoing and eating like crap because it's the weekend. How about going out kayaking, hiking, go to the amusement park with the kids, whatever, do something that's fun, productive, and matches your lifestyle. Am I saying you can never have a glass of wine or a beer if you've got an issue with that? Yes, maybe that is the case. But if you're not somebody who's got an issue where you cannot ever have a drink, you might once in a while, but not all the time. And, judge it. Is it really worth taking your body and your energy down by drinking something you shouldn't drink, smoking something you shouldn't smoke, or eating in a way that's non-productive, instead of finding ways to replace that? Now, maybe you love coffee. I love coffee, but I drink an organic coffee with a healthy keto oil in it in the morning, and it energizes me and it helps my cognizance. Yay, coffee's good. You go to the Starbucks or you go to the corner coffee shop that's serving this chemical ridden commercial coffee, and you're drinking chemicals. Let's face it, there's two different worlds there. Make it match your lifestyle. I still enjoy I love my coffee in the morning. And do I like Starbucks coffee, the taste of it? Yeah, sometimes I zag out and have one, but not very often. I wouldn't do that every day because that would be toxin out your body. So you get where I'm saying here. Where's the fun? Make the fun match what your goals and your outcomes are. There is a lot of fun stuff that isn't negative to you. Some people say, well, you guys go beat the shit out of yourselves doing these mud races. That's fun, but you get hurt and beat up and you're sore for a couple of days. And that is true. There is, but after that, you get more muscle and you feel better and you feel even stronger and you feel accomplished. So that's something we love. Not everybody wants to go do mud races. Maybe you like to roller skate, rollerblade, play volleyball, play tennis, just get out for a brisk walk. But that beats sitting on your ass having a beer every night in front of the TV for a few hours and eating nacho chips. Let's face it, you're going to have a different outcome from it. But you can still enjoy it. And you might be like, well, I like chips. Okay, get some cassava chips. They taste better than nacho chips. They're made from cassava and they don't do bad stuff to your body. They're nourishing. See, there's always an option. That's the cool part of this. Add that fun in a way that it's not taking away from you. So we have all these tools, all these whys, and then you got to ask yourself, are you living it? If not, what's missing? What do you need to go back to, redo, adjust, or simply take action on that we've done up until this point in this year? You have got enough tools to transform your entire life with or without any coaching from me. With coaching, you can take it to the next level. Getting a good coach will always take you to a better level if you've got somebody who holds you to that higher standard and gets you to take action. But you have enough tools to turn your whole life around no matter where you're at, just in what we've done since January till now. Take action. You're not always going to take the right action. You're not always going to get exactly the results. You're not always going to figure out your exact why to where it's an 18-page mission statement. Sometimes the why is because I want more energy. Sometimes the why is because I love my kids. Sometimes the why is I don't want to feel like shit. Sometimes the why is I want to feel great. Whatever your whys are, use them. But the deal is sometimes you're just gonna have to step up and self-educate. Self-education is the new norm. And guess what? That's what we're trying to provide to you. This is self-education. Yes, we're providing the material, but you've got to go take advantage of it. I can't force it on you. I can't tell you there's going to be a math test at 3 o'clock every Friday when you finish, 6th grade. We're not in that environment anymore. I got to work hard just to pass a test. That lacks the why, the motivation, and stuff like that. The old style of learning is gone. If you're engaged in this and you're going, this is fun and cool, good stuff is happening in my life, by getting involved with the movement of self-education and self-improvement and contribution, awesome. There's no downside. And you enjoy it. This becomes part of the fun. This is fun for me. God, I hope it's fun for you guys. I hope you really do enjoy these. So go back, take action on anything that is a weak spot. If it's something in your health, if it's something in, finding your power why, all this is available to you. It's all on the blog, all on the website, revitalizelife.com. Go there. If you're still having trouble, coach with me. Click a button that says Coach with Coach Lew. Book a session with Coach Lew. Book in with me. You can come right here to the office. We can do it in the office. We can meet somewhere that you're comfortable in coaching with, or we can certainly turn around and go via Skype, Zoom, all the social media. We have access to be face-to-face like we are right now. So we went into the next step of it was step up or step out. And I think people took that initially as step up or get out of the way. Step up, step out of your comfort zone. How about step up and step out? But also step out if you need to. If something's holding you back that you're doing every day, step out of it. It's just that simple. So go back and check that out. Stepping up is stepping up into doing better at what you do. Stepping out of your comfort zone is making you grow. Stepping out of a bad situation is going, this no longer serves me. So that is the gist of that, but that's a good one. So get into that one. Then there's if you think you are right. So if you think you can, you are right. If you think you can't, you are right. Thank you, Henry Ford, for that one. That's not my quote. But he's so right. If you definitely think you can do something, your chances of doing it are way better. Now, do you always get the exact outcome? Maybe, maybe not. But if you think you can't, I can guarantee your outcome is going to be you can't. If you go into something going, I can't do that, well, you're not going to. You're never going to make it come to fruition because you don't believe you can in the first place. So I'm going to err on the side of, I think I can do that. Sure, I can do that. I know I can do that. And what if I come up a little short? It's a lot better than never starting. Never starting, you stay down here. If I want to go to the top of this building and I get here, that's because I thought I could. If I think I can't, I'm staying on the ground floor. Anywhere, work, relationships, business, ground floor, penthouse. Which do you want? See? You see how this all fits together. All right, time, the one thing that is equal. And I know everybody has different schedules and different responsibilities, etc. But I know people that run multiple companies, have multiple children, multiple homes, and have time to do really amazing things. And I know people who have one job, one home, don't even have kids maybe, and they never have enough time. There's never enough money at the end of the month. There's never enough time. They're always busy. They're always frazzled. They're, can't get it together. That's all in time management, guys. And that is something I can coach the heck out of you on. If you really, really are having trouble with time, and I'm not faulting you. If you're the person with one job, no kids, and one place to live, and you still feel freaked out about time, I can help you with that and be happy to. I'm not picking on you. If you've got 10 businesses going and you used to have 5 and you're freaking out because you feel like everything's going to fall apart, I can help you with that too. So time is the one thing that's equal. We're not born equal. We don't have equal opportunity from the start. We don't necessarily have equal physical capability or equal mental capability. Not that you can't overcome all of that. And there's some great people that have overcome some of the worst obstacles and where they started, so it's not an excuse. But let's face it, we are not born into an equal situation. Some people have better opportunity and don't even use it. Some people have better opportunity and use it. Some people have less than no opportunity and create amazing opportunity. And some people are born into bad opportunity that's not really great and use it as an excuse. So time is equal. Nothing else is equal, guys, except for your value in God's eyes. You as a person are valuable in God's eyes and should be in each other's eyes as equal as a human being. And unfortunately, not everybody operates that way, but that is one thing that should be equal, but time is the one thing that is definitely equal. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, etc., etc. It doesn't matter what your last name is, where you were born, what time zone you're in, what city you're in, what you do for a living. Time is the one thing that is static. No doubt about it. So make the best of it. Use your time wisely. Are you following up? Are you following up on your health, your goals, your relationships, your work, your business, this program? Are you following through? Are you taking advantage of it? I certainly hope so, because I definitely want to see you guys rocking and rolling and doing great. All right, so here we go. What's next? We're going to build upon the tools. We're going to finish out 2019 strong and have a base going into 2020. It's not often we get to use something like 2020 as an anchor to see clearly into your future and make it something that we can just build to create that energy back within ourselves and push and go forward. And I am so far over time this morning, but I'm so excited and I hope you've gotten value out of this. And the next thing I want to tell you, book some coaching with me. Let's take it to the next level. If you need it, if you're going fine and you are 100% on track, if there's any weak spots in that, book a coaching session. Book a single session. Try it out. See what happens. We'll book more, we can do monthly coaching, weekly, daily, or one time. Sometimes it's just one little thing you got to do. Whatever works for you, but I am here for you. And I want to see you succeed. Yes, I want to see you succeed. The more you succeed, the more we all succeed. This isn't about me beating somebody out of the race, beating somebody down. I like competition. I like to run hard. I like to go, be a winner. But being a winner, if you're taking people with you, is where it's at. If you're pushing somebody down so you can win, you're not winning at all. Think of it that way. So book a session with me. Visit the site, revitalizelife.com, and visit the Monday Motivation blog. And our regular blog, our complete blog, also has healthy recipes and other tips and fun stuff. Don't ignore that either. There's a lot of cool stuff on there for you. And I've put this effort in for you guys. I put the time in. I put the expense in to create this stuff so that you guys have tools to go make your lives better, make it a better world. And yes, I would love it if you'd coach with me occasionally. This is the type of thing where, this is what we do. But it's not the type of thing where I don't deliver something to leave it out there that you have to. You've got the tools. All the tools are out there, but you can always take it to the next level. Love to work one-on-one with you. Live with energy, passion, always live your dream. This is Coach Lew, looking forward to next Monday. And I would tell you I'm sorry for keeping you so long, but I'm not. If you got value out of this, as much as I did to deliver it to you, I'm glad you were aboard. Glad we ran a lot over time. I try to keep these a little shorter, so they're not always this long. If this is your first one with me, go enjoy the content, guys. Live with energy, passion, faith, and always live your dream. Have an awesome day. This is Coach Lew. See you on the next one.